instead of where my brain is always like goes, it's like I have to go home to a mess of a house or not a house at all. Now I'm like, oh my God, I get to come home to the coolest house ever. And it just feels like a dream. I'm David Bromstad. I am the host of My Lottery Dream Home, host of Color Splash, host of Design Star Season 1 winner. That was very extra. This is my dream house, and this project came out of like so much love and trauma at the same time. It's taken so many iterations. Like this is my dream home. As soon as I started doing work on my mental health and I got sober, everything switched to this really this beautiful pink and red and all of these yummy tones that really are who I am. One version of me. It was such an important thing for me just to do, not think, And I wanted this to be a representation of who I was and the person that I've become through my sobriety. And I took so many fun risks, and I just went for everything. All of this was my gut, all of these really fun curves and all these really beautiful, all these textures and these beautiful beams and these ceilings are stunning. And it all just came from instinct. Design this intuitively and creatively. And I'm like, well, what do we love the most? We love caves. We love arches. We love organic moments, very inspired from my many times to Mykonos. I love sci-fi, so Tatooine was definitely a huge vibe here. The Southwest is a big influence on me as well. But I wanted to create that and make a vibe that was uniquely mine. Here in Florida, it feels very fresh. It feels very cool. It feels very sexy. It feels very new, but inspired by things from all different generations and different styles. It's been so long since I've done any sort of design in front of America, right? And I'm an artist, and I love my job, with lottery, but I am a creative through and through. And so it was really nice to be able to flex my muscles a little bit. And at first, when I started doing the design, it was coming from a very different place. I was like, this is the first time, this is probably the first and last time I'll be designing in front of America. So I have something to prove to them, to everyone out there. And then working on my mental health, I was like, I have nothing to prove to anybody but myself. So my design is a sneak peek into me as a human. I'm unique, I'm different, I'm relatable, but also completely strange in the most weird and wonderful way, and that's my house. It says everything about me. It is a distinct, huge part of my personality, wrapped up with love and kindness and a big price tag. I had people work with me on it, but it's all my design. Every curve that you see is my hands. Every moment, all the little handprints, those are all mine. It's been such a wonderful collaborative thing I've had with other artists, but this is me. This is lots of blood, sweat, literally blood, lots of blood, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears. I started with architecture. And so that was always beams and ceiling treatments and maybe some cool sculptural elements that go floor to ceiling. But I'm a huge fan of beams. I have been forever. I'm like, beams go in every style, whether it's modern, contemporary, country, farmhouse, rustic. It doesn't matter. Super traditional, super formal. Beams go everywhere. And that's the most beautiful thing about it. Bringing that structure in already makes the room feel more expensive and beautiful, because it is. You're spending money on what most people just keep plain. You're putting an element up into the ceiling, and when you do that, you create an instant vibe, period. If you look at my space, it is only neutrals. It is whites, creams, and this beautiful wood color that's on the ceiling and the floor. The beams shape the space. They give it that core essence that will never go away. Like, am I going to keep all of this pink up forever? Most likely. But if I wanted to go completely neutral, I have the opportunity to do that. But the beams give it this really beautiful base to build on. What do you want the ceiling to do? Because the ceiling will be there, but the decorations all around it will change. So like what's the vibe? What's your view? To me, it's like, and if you don't know, then start researching, go into Pinterest or go on to Barron Designs. You guys have wonderful examples. You guys have been doing this for so long and you have so many beautiful clients and so much. You guys are seasoned professionals when it comes to doing anything on the ceiling. It's incredible. And the combination of the texture just tells that story in such a subtle way because everything's the same tones in this beautiful color that I designed. The heritage is the bigger beam, so those are the big support ones that they have chopped down in the forest, and they're hewn from these very large logs that have these splits and cracks. And the smaller ones are cleaner because you're taking it from smaller pieces of lumber. There's always this thought process, this story. I don't go, oh, cute, I love the texture. I'm like, no. Let's go back to why this texture was created in the first place, where it came from, why it looks the way it does. And that creates to me a story, which I love doing. Like, I'm a storyteller, doing lottery, I'm a storyteller, doing color splash, I'm a storyteller. And as a human, I love to tell a story with everything that's in the house. So I took a tone from the floor and I was like, let's just get this to a nice, really basic finish. It turned out to be so beautiful that I didn't have to touch it up or do anything to it. It matches my bleached wood. I ended up just bleaching all the wood, and it has this incredible, icy, beautiful age to it because you're taking it through a process, right? You're taking it through this intense, wonderful moment of like giving it like age, but also making it really crisp and clean and beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. So ceiling design, they call it the fifth wall. I think that's rude. I call it the first wall because it's the first thing you should deal with. It's the first thing you deal with in construction. And to add that moment automatically is going to do so many things for your house. It's going to give it an identity, a personality. If it's a new build, people are going to describe it as the house with the beams. If it's something that you're incorporating into your life, it's going to just give so much character. To me, the ceiling is the most underrated plane in the entire house. It needs to be addressed because anything else can go away. Like, you can paint your walls, you can do whatever, but the ceiling brings the most drama. It brings the most bang for your buck too. You're going to get a lot if you're reselling, you're going to get a lot more out of your money or out of the house with the investment of some beams. They're just something that is never going to take away from your home value, period. Like, people are going to be like, oh, I don't love this house, it has beams. That's never a thing. It's more of like the house with the beams. It gives it an identity. There is not one person on this planet that doesn't love it. There may be some people who don't want to put it in their house, but they're not going to take it away. Absolutely not. The faux version that Barron Designs offers, they're light and they can be put up basically anywhere. With real beams, which we all love real beams, one, they're incredibly heavy and they have to be put up where support joints are. So you have much more limited space to move. So when you're working with an existing house, putting the faux beams up are so much more flexible. Like, you can basically put them anywhere because they are so light. Now, granted, they still need two men to do it up because they're still big and they're still bulky, but they go up so quick, so easy. They're easy to cut. And every contractor loves working with them once they get in the vibe of it. I'm really grateful, even though I did go down to the studs, I had the opportunity to do real wood. And I'm really glad I didn't, because it did give so much more flexibility to be able to put things up where they needed to do, and have it be effortless. The many other things that I love about these faux beams is that I have these beams not inside, but I have them outside. They won't deteriorate. They will not break down. They're not going to get mold on, which is so important, especially here in a humid climate like Florida. Or even if you're up north, you have a lot of like give and take with hot, cold, splitting. The wood definitely takes on a different sort of character, and it definitely moves. With the faux, it is a guarantee to sit perfectly all year, whatever the weather, which is it's amazing. The one thing that George, who is a dear friend who works for Barron Designs, he's an amazing engineer, and he was able to really help guide. Like, I gave him my plan and he gave exactly the measurements, the perfection. Here's how much, and there's always extra. So you're always cutting a little extra, but there's always extra there. So it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be close enough. And so when you're in scene, you have enough space to cut perfectly so they go up flawlessly. And then he was like, well, what are you going to do with the timbers on the outside? I'm like, oh, I'm just going to use, some wood from wherever. And he goes, how about we do it for you? And I was like, oh, you guys do that too? He goes, absolutely. And he sent me a picture of a very similar, like, country club they had just built with a Tudor look. And he's like, here's what we did. I was like, great. So coming up with all of that was way beyond my math skills. I gave him an inspiration, I gave him measurements, but he came up with all the engineering behind it. And the most beautiful thing with that is that I live in the juiciest place in the United States, probably the world. And so replacing the timbers, which is the decorative pieces that you see outside, is a very common thing, and you do it every year because they rot. I don't ever have to do that with my house because they are faux. And they're perfect, and they're wonderful. To me, like, everything feels like everything's going very custom, And I know that we all say that, but I think it's more of this artistic, creative, organic vibe that people are really leaning into. And I love where this trend is going, because we had that very similar kind of a pop in the 80s, but it was very sterile, the 80s and 90s. Now it's like all these really beautiful organic, like, forms, and the materials that are coming out. It's just, it's amazing what is happening so quickly with technology and things people are able to do in their houses. So I'm looking forward to seeing people come up with their own version of what they want to put out there. I like uniqueness, and I think uniqueness is in style, because it's expensive and people like pricey things.